Hey, welcome everybody. Welcome to the
Thanksgiving cast. Happy Thanksgiving
cast. We got the bifocals out.
We both got our readers. We got our legs propped up on the recliner. We got our belts slightly unbuckled. First and second tip of the finger slightly tucked in the pant line. We're both
Christmas
full.
Weather.
It is. It is nice and brisk outside.
I looked today. It was like 30.
It's perfect. It's perfect running weather. We've already hit the it's too cold season for a lot of people that are just complaining or doing whatever. And 3 months ago you're complaining because it was too hot. Now it's too cold. But it is.
The grocery store. I mean, this is Chattanooga. It doesn't get that cold here.
No, it doesn't.
And they've got a big bin of hand warmers.
A bit? Do they really? It's isotoners.
I don't know. No, there's like those things you break and you put in your hand.
Oh yeah. Well, what they're doing is they're getting ready for like the parades probably. Like you stand out there and you stick your hand in your pocket and you keep your hands warm. Or you got the high school the TWSA state championship games coming up. You walk around and keep those in your pocket. But
did we say that's this weekend?
That's next week.
Next week.
Yeah,
okay.
Nobody cares. I mean, you think about people didn't care about our college football talk. They definitely don't want to hear us talk about high school.
Tennessee high school football. Good matchups.
Some great matchups.
I was just wondering for us because we'll both be out of town.
We'll both be out of town. But happy Thanksgiving. Hope you're all snuggled up by the fire, enjoying some time with family and friends. Because let's be honest, not all of us love our family.
Friendsgivings are big.
Friendsgivings are huge. If you're on the bike, happy Cranksgiving. But hope you're enjoying today. Welcome aboard, folks. This is the Crushing Iron Podcast. Today is November 25th, 2021. Happy Thanksgiving. We are podcast 533.
Nope.
No, it is. Yes, dude. You totally set me up for that one. But yeah, we're gonna do a quick cast, and we're gonna sit back and turn on some nice, probably crank on some Kenny G or some Michael Bolton in the background, a little bit of Christmas music on the low key, and go through the 5 things that we are the most thankful for in life, and hopefully that will provide you some inspiration for the next. No, we're not doing that. We're going to go over December rules, which we posted in our closed Facebook group, which is Crushing Iron Group. I doubt it's your first time listening, but if it is, welcome. We appreciate you giving us your time. We know you have a lot of options in the triathlon podcast universe and just podcasts in general, so we appreciate you tuning in today. We covered all. We covered triathlon, we covered life, we covered everything in between. Sometimes we'll do swim, bike, run specific podcast. Sometimes we'll do race recaps. Sometimes we'll do race previews. We'll have on the very, very occasional guest. But for the most part, Mike and I as coaches, athletes, best friends, just kind of sit back, relax, have an open, honest discussion about what we're going through, what our athletes are going through. Sometimes we'll hop into the aforementioned Facebook group, which is Crushing Iron Group. Answer one simple question. We'll let you right in. That's where I posted these December rules. I think last week. We'll go over today, but that's it. We have no sponsors. We have no ads. We have one agenda, and that's to keep you happy and healthy in your endurance sports journey.
Yeah, and I know you mentioned December rules. It just occurred to me it might be kind of cool. We should try to come up with January rules. Maybe every month. Can we do that?
Yeah, January needs to be like calm the F down.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Like stop starving yourself.
Sign up for the most expensive Planet Fitness.
Right, exactly. Where the fine print says, there's literally no way you can get out of this ever.
Thank you for life.
Thank you for life. And you're like, I could save a couple bucks. And you're like, you always check back, you're like, yep, there it is. Still getting hit $17.99 for 24-hour fitness in a city you don't even live in anymore. And they're going to keep getting you because that's the goal, right?
You got to quit in person.
Yes,
with the same person to sign you up, even if they don't work there.
Exactly. And it's like the Bobby Bonilla contract. It's like it's going on forever. And that was one of the things that I was so enlightened to when I started working for a gym. I was going through training to be general manager of this big gym in Cool Springs, and we were talking about sales and renewals and how gyms make money. And he basically said, he was like, he's like, we don't want to email people. We don't want to send out
remind them.
Exactly, that's exactly what he said. He said we don't want to remind them that they're paying us because most gyms are so the amount is so small that most people feel like they're like it's what he called it's the be back dollars. They always think, hey, you know what? Let's go back. I'll probably go back in a week or two. I'd rather just have it versus going through the whole process where you walk in and the guy, Jimmy Joe, who looks like he's 9 foot wide up on the torso, but he's like, 2 inches wide, in his legs. Like he's getting swole. Walks you around, shows you the tanning bedroom and the cardio room, the cardio theater. And, he's like, and now you just got to sign up. He's like, if you sign up today, we'll waive the initiation fee. We'll waive the, $190, like, initiation fee or whatever they call it, startup fee, and you can get started today. How's that sound to you? And then you're like, God, sounds great. And then you come in, he's like, can you get unlimited tanning? And you're like, great. Last thing I want to do is go sit in a, unwashed tan bed that, random people have been in. But you sign up, so you don't want to go through the whole process again. So you stick with it and you keep paying. And then you figure out you don't even like that gym anymore. It's a crappy gym. So now you're paying like 2 gym memberships because now you get a membership to, 24-hour gym and, Spokane. Then you got a gym membership for the Gold's Gym you got in Detroit. Then you moved again. Now you're going to, Body Pump Yoga Spa down the road that costs like, $98 a session. And you're just in it. So, the best thing is just to keep it and don't be reminded that you're paying it.
That's the good January. Did I ever tell you that time my friend he worked at Bally's. Remember Bally's?
Yeah.
And a new one came. This is when I lived in Indianapolis, believe it or not. But this guy's like, come on out, we'll show you around and everything. He took me to his office kind of in the back of the gym there. And we went through the thing and I'm like, I don't think so. He goes, okay. Well, all right, let's head out. Instead of walking back out through the front, he took me out and dumped me out through a back door. And it was like in a cornfield. I had to walk through the mud because I can't really, my manager will get on my ass if I didn't close the deal. I said I had a friend come in and I got a sale here. So I'm walking through the mud going back to my car. But I said that's what it takes sometimes to get out of Bally's.
It's that's true. It's
a small price to pay.
Yeah, instead of paying like 200 G's. But yeah, I guess we can start off with some rules. For January rules are great. There'll be some mid-season rules, end-of-season rules. But we started this last year for obviously a variety of reasons. We were ending, a year 2020 that we'll all remember for a lot of reasons. And it would just seem like we all needed a break. And like, listen, we've talked about this before in the last couple of podcasts that we talked about people yo-yoing like they're all in. I'm all in, and then they go way all out, and that just sticks them for a while. And then you also have people who make that usually the horrendous choice of, what, I think I'm going to pick up this late season race. Like I really want to, maintain fitness, and they sign up for a race, and then I don't know, about a week later they're like, you know what, I don't have it anymore. I'm just going to can it. It's okay to take a break. It is encouraged to take a break. It is encouraged to unwind. It is encouraged to take days off. And that's why we implemented the December rules. And we posted it in our closed Facebook group, which is Crushing Iron Group, last week because there had been a lot of conversation, a lot of talk about burnout. And again, that was something that you and I discussed at length in one of the podcasts, that it wasn't just it wasn't a year cycle for a lot of people. It was a 2-year cycle. Like they've been committed for a while, and it's time to detach. And I was actually seeing more people being kind of at their wits' end and needing a break this year earlier than I was last year, because it didn't have the races and it hadn't been as long. And, when you double the time, it's a lot. And so I'll kind of read off the top and then we'll kind of go through each one specifically, and that'll be all we do today. But there's 12 of them. Number 1, your favorite. Naps are good. They are never bad. They are never, ever bad. This is like and we're starting this November 29th, but December is like one of the greatest months to take naps. If you're a napper, I'm traditionally a horrendous napper, but I'm going to try hard this month to take naps.
I feel like you got one at Run Camp.
I did. I got a couple at Run Camp. I was in the zone. It's easy.
Nap zone.
Yeah, I was in the nap zone, but naps. Unwind, relax, calm your mind. Most people's work schedules are a little bit more flex, a little bit easier. Kids are home, you're traveling, you're probably going to eat a few things that probably make it easier to take a nap. But take some naps. Rejuvenate the spirit, the mind, the body. Number 1 for December, naps are good. They're never bad, guilt. Actually. Exactly. Naps without guilt. Yeah. Naps. That's my thing. It's like, that's why I always suck up with naps. I'm like, I could be doing something right now.
I think that's 2 podcasts in a row we've started with sleep.
I know. Yeah. And I paid the price yesterday because I was up at like 4:30 this morning.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I was like, I never should have talked about it out loud because now that I got back, it got me.
Sprung right out, huh?
Sprung right out. Number 2, if you want to do your session, by all means, do your session. But if sleeping in and having an extra cup of coffee sounds better that day, then do that. And that, to me, that's the.
I mean, that sounds better every day.
It does. I mean, but honestly, like that's the one that I think everyone needs to be encouraged, and like that's kind of how we like lay out the front of it. Is this, the end of the year is a great time to be flexible. I like to approach the next few weeks as what I call quote unquote unstructured structure. Your body likely needs the break, but you also need the break from structure and the rigidity of training in order to really excel and be able to have the year you want to in 2022. You can't just be physically fresh. You need to be emotionally and mentally fresh as well. And we put that in Training Peaks. So we still give, workouts. We still give our athletes a plan, a little bit of flexibility, things to kind of spice up and keep things, a little bit more free. Let athletes make choices. But it's number two is, I think is my most important one is if you want to do your session, by all means do it. But if sleeping in and having an extra cup of coffee sounds better that day, then do that. Because I think what gets a lot of athletes in trouble as they go on through the course of the year is that they reach that level of, I have to work out today, right? It's no longer my choice. It's I have to because my race is either coming up, or I have to because, and I don't want to, but I have to because my coach put it there. And the longer you can put off that feeling and you can keep it I want to do this. I'm excited to do this. I'm eager to do this. My why is intact and I feel, purposeful about, the reasons for doing this. The longer you can keep that mentality, the more successful you'll be. But the earlier you get the case of the, the efforts, if you will, of I don't want to do this. I feel like I have to do it, or I'm only doing this because coach said so. That's when you start kind of heading down, that rabbit hole that you might not get out of.
Right. And is there an 80-20 rule in our December rules?
What do you mean? Like intensity wise?
Well, 20. What's the deal? 20% of the whatever,
80% of the time.
But I'm just saying, if you can do 80% of the workouts in December, you're probably ahead of.
For sure, you're way ahead.
5% of the people.
I'd say workout adherence in December is like 60 to 65% across the board.
Oh, okay. So then you got
80%,
a lot of coffee
extra
space
15%.
there.
There is a lot of coffee space. There's a lot of coffee flex.
A lot of sleep in coffee space. Yeah, so 20. You got 20%.
Easy. Walk number 3. Walks and hikes are great. If you have a dog, then take it out for hours on end. Again, we encourage this like year round. Just getting outside and doing something. You can be active. You can refresh your soul, refresh your mind, and do your dog a favor. If you don't have a dog, get one. If you have a cat, trade it in, get a dog. Because you can't take cats for a walk. I mean, you can hey, let's go take a little, lap around the, the place where you take a shit inside the house in your own soil. We're dog people. I'm sure we get a lot of hate mail for the cat people.
Yeah, I don't mind cats.
You don't mind cats?
No.
Have you ever owned one?
We did. Growing up, we somehow inherited a cat from a while.
Yeah, exactly. No one buys a cat; they inherit one. Then you feel guilty for giving it up because no one else wants it. But take hikes, take walks.
Smell that cat piss.
Exactly.
Mom,
you litter box. Exactly. Your mom does for sure. Just get outside, enjoy it. It's cold for most places right now, but that's my favorite time of year to hike. Get out for long walks, enjoy nature, do it with friends, and that's what I think. One of the things I love most about encouraging athletes to hike and walk is it allows you, which is also incredibly encouraged, it allows you time to still exercise, still be outside, still do something for your body, but also do it with basically anyone you want. Because you can, for the most part, unless you want to like power hike and include this in your Garmin workout and upload, walk and hike with anyone. Friend, family, loved one, spouse, girlfriend, boyfriend, kid, whatever it is, dog. You don't have to do it alone, right? And a lot of people are always so concerned, I don't want so-and-so to slow me down, or I don't want, I can't keep up with so-and-so. You always have to detach and do things alone. And again, we do enough of our stuff alone, right? Like we do enough of our stuff alone. Get out and do something, go for a hike or a walk, encourage somebody, not only get that physical, response of just feeling refreshed in that endorphin kick by being outside in nature and going for a walk and a hike and feeling refreshed physically, but it'll do wonders for you also emotionally and mentally. Mm-hmm. Check those boxes.
Yeah. Barry Alvarez, who the University of Wisconsin.
I know who he is. I know.
He turned the program around. But anyway, as he was AD, he used to have a thing where he would, I don't know if it was every day, but maybe a few days a week, he'd get with the head football coach and they'd always go for a walk. And that's when they came up with their good ideas. And it was just sort of a ritual. And I think, I love what you're saying, because then that connects you with people. And there's nothing like a walk to get that. I was kind of thinking we should start doing that. actually.
You and I go for a walk together?
Morning walk here and there to get the, just the.
You said morning walk.
But before noon.
Okay. Can we call it an AM walk? Okay, we call it an AM walk. Walk around the block around our community here.
Just to plan out
Westridge
the next
development.
phases,
Yeah, we could do that. I'm in for that. I'm taking a little walk.
No distractions. That's it. Hit the phones. Don't be
leave
walking
the
with your
phones.
phones. You can run into a tree.
Oh, God, I know. Or step in some dog crap. Number 4, you are required to take at least 6 days off of training in the month of December. Don't argue with me on that either. Do it. Quote unquote, days off are from swimming, cycling, and running. You can ski, play tennis, go for a hike, play basketball. Days off do not mean laying on the couch all day. They can just mean a day off from anything triathlon related. That is another huge piece of the puzzle that I think people disregard every year, is that they get so tired of triathlon because that's all they're focused on 24/7. Mm-hmm. If you follow or read about like most professional athletes, professional triathletes, they do something totally opposite. They go to cross-country skiing. They do mountain bike races. They do gravel rides. They hop in Xterra. They do stuff that, while still helps them from a fitness standpoint, detaches them from their job, right? Or their hobby. And to be honest, a lot of age groupers take their hobby more seriously than a lot of professionals probably do, in terms of like the fact that they feel like it's their career and their responsibility, that the burnout rate is so high. Pros have most pros, I would have to imagine, have a much better and more relaxed ability to unwind and detach and to do things that are fun and to take time off and to not do things, and relieve themselves from, again, the structure and the rigidity of the year, because you can only be so structured and so rigid for so long before you break. And these periods of time are needed. And you have the athletes that are like, but I'm going to lose all my fitness that I've gained. And like, you can't maintain the same level of fitness year round if you want to improve. You have to have valleys because you really want peaks. You can't just peak all year round. And that is something that is really hard for athletes, especially that lack confidence in their development, that they're afraid they're going to lose things, or they're afraid they're not developing fast and they're not going to keep it. And like, you can't do the volume and do the training that you need to do when you're always working so hard, because you're never going to give your body a chance to fully recover and adapt. We see this every time, every year, November, December, January, when triathlon basically stops. And because, in my opinion, like run training for triathlon is very, very different from like open half marathon training, because it's different. There's some similarities, but where it is especially is different because you're coming in so fatigued. Anyway, that's why most of our athletes have their most successful marathons, open half marathons, 5Ks, 10Ks. They see all these like massive improvement in their running and PR, so much during this time of year, because they're unwinding, they're unloading. Now they can actually run fresh and do these races because they're not training as much, or they're not doing 5-hour, 3-hour rides. They're not swimming 10, 12,000 yards a week. They're just they're letting their base level of fitness remain, but while just giving themselves a little bit more pop, right? A little bit more pop and more pep in their step. Days off are needed, and they're encouraged. And the biggest thing that we try to get across to our athletes right now during this period is that you and I both try to really kind of drive this home with each person, is that we want you to make the decision to take days off in the other 11 months out of the year, because no one's ever regretted taking a day off. They feel better the next 2 days. But so many people that don't take a day off regret it when they're forced to take one, because they get sick or they get injured, they get burnt out, and their workouts become, stale. Be confident enough to take a day off. Don't think you're so committed that you can't take one.
Yeah, I agree with that. It's sort of like stockpiling sick days. When I quit my corporate job, I had 100 sick days. I should have just taken them.
Yeah.
When I felt like it, but how many times people get up and they don't really feel that good. And like, Starkey always says he just sleeps whenever he gets sick, or he starts feeling like he's getting sick. Take a day off instead of plowing. I mean, it's a similar thing. And like what you said about the pros, they probably feel more comfortable taking days off because they're confident. And when you hit on that confidence thing,
I've been doing it for long enough.
What
right?
on earth is one, yeah.
By the way,
training all year.
I'm taking PTO tomorrow.
I was going to say,
just as to be clear,
PTO.
Yeah, some paid time off.
Okay, tomorrow. But I was going to ask, what's your jam on the side flex?
What do you mean on the side flex? I don't even know what the hell that means.
I mean, that's outside of swim, bike, run. I mean, what are you going to be?
Oh, doing? What am I going to do?
Yeah.
I've been getting the itch.
little roller hockey.
No, not roller hockey. I mean, maybe with Hayden, I might go out. And I need him to get like a mixed martial arts shape and bodybuilding to keep up with him. I might play a little tennis.
Yeah.
I might play a little tennis. I think I'm a little rusty on the East-West game.
Where are you going to go? Like indoor?
What do you mean, where am I going to go?
Indoor?
Listen, man, I could play back in the day. I played in college. I can play. I can still play.
I know you can
I can
play
still
tennis.
pick up a racket. And that's a funny quick story because I feel like I need to validate myself. But when I worked in Kansas City, I hadn't picked up a racket in 3 years. And one of the ladies there that we played with, or that came to the gym, she was always playing in like the 3.5, a 4.0 league. And she'd always talk smack. She was like, yeah, come on out one day. We'll play. So I said, I don't have to borrow a racket from you. If you want to play, we'll play. And she's a good friend of mine, sweet as pie. So we hop out I met her, played indoor, worked for a little bit, and I beat the living dog crap out of her. 6'1", 6'0", and I was unrelenting in my domination of her. And then I walked up the court and haven't played since. I still got it.
I
still got it. Because
serve still there? I mean,
I'm sore for about 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And honestly, that's why I would, because sometimes I think, you know what? This time of year, I'd love to play, like go back and play in a league because I like the competitive nature of like playing someone like mano a mano. It's like you win or you lose. It's one-on-one. You don't depend on anybody else. You can play. You can be competitive. It's a great workout. I don't do anything East and West anymore, so that like it would be an actual like really good workout. But my elbow and my arm, I can't swim for 2 weeks. I'm literally shelled. After like the last time I played, I was literally done. I was toast. And I was like, well, I can't swim for 2 weeks, but I'm not swimming right now anyway. So, hey, might as well. But yeah, I might pick up the old tennis racket.
Maybe I ought to
dust off the pro staff.
Oh yeah. The pro staff.
That was my racket, the pro staff.
I believe it. I had Stan Smith.
The Arthur Ashe racket.
No, Stan Smith wood. But here's maybe I ought to pick up. I hear this pickleball is getting big now.
I have no idea what pickleball is.
It's like tennis on a shorter court. And they use,
of course, on a shorter court. Everybody's trying to go.
Oh, it's huge now.
Pickleball?
You having pickleball?
No.
It's like I don't know. It's like probably like.
Are there courts around here?
Yeah.
Where? You act like you've been and played. Like you're in a pickleball.
About it. I got a pickleball league tomorrow.
Oh, okay. Maybe I'll look it up. I like a little competitive.
I think
spirit.
it's for older women. Really
What are you saying? What are you saying?
I'm just saying, if you get sore, maybe you need to shorten the stroke a little bit.
I feel
take your readers down there.
I feel violated. Take my readers. Number 5, go out for coffee, tea, or beer with someone you haven't talked to in forever. Connect with at least one person you haven't seen in a while and have missed. Obviously, this was a huge thing last year when basically people went from seeing everyone to seeing no one. Go out and do things. Stop allowing Zoom and virtual meetups to be the excuse. Go and freaking meet with someone.
Please.
And do it in person. Give hugs. Give thanks and give hugs and see people. It is the most rejuvenating, positive thing you can do for your life. You and I talk about it a lot. That I think one of the saving graces for us both in a lot of ways with how hard 2020 was, is we still got to see each other almost every day, and connect in person, which most people didn't have that opportunity. Go and connect with people as much as possible. Go out and stop putting it off. Go out and see people, be around people. We're meant to connect. We're meant to be around people. Enjoy one another's company.
Yeah, I do it now. I mean, the metaverse can wait.
You just keep talking about the metaverse. Like run our test.
It's coming, man.
All right, I believe
it's 3D. It's like virtual reality.
You know so much. You know so much. I know so little. Pickleball and metaverse. Number 6. This is a big one. Read one book. If this means you have to play catch up and read the entire last week of December and skip your training, then do it. Go read a book. And to me, this falls in line with detaching yourself from technology and thinking and doing all these things. Overthinking, obsessing. Read a book. Read something. Go read any of my favorites. Okay, Obstacle of the Way, Stillness is the Key, Ego is the Enemy, Discount code Crushing Iron. I wonder how many books we stole from Ryan Holiday. Those are all some of my absolute favorites. If you ask me, I'll send you one.
Yeah, but also
you get a fresh copy.
I would like to suggest reading some fiction as well, though.
Like what?
I don't know. I don't know.
You don't?
No, I was talking about somebody about this
pickleball 1800s.
How hard it is to read if you haven't read in a while.
That's very true. Like the level of concentration, or just how lazy your mind has gotten.
Lazy, I think, and both. Really, yeah. It's like, whoa, what is? But reading. I've got a lot of books like. Well, I have Obstacles Away, actually.
Yeah, I know. You have my... Mike Torelli holds my original Obstacle the Way copy with notes, just highlights, and pen.
Safe, buddy.
Yeah, you are keeping
I actually was watching the Badger basketball game the other night, and they were talking about a player who went through a hard time or whatever and had to come back, and the coach told him to read Obstacles Away.
Telling you,
that must be a good book. I thought.
Yeah, it must be. Oh, look, it's over there in my countertop.
Look, Badgers beat Houston. Ranked 12th.
I saw that. Yeah.
We're all freshmen.
Whatever.
I'm a little more optimistic. But anyway, I think, the fiction thing, because I have a lot of those types of books, and I was thinking about that. And you're pretty good because you read Holiday, and he's pretty, synergy.
Yes, very much
so. Like if you're reading Holiday and some other, person and this, and you got all these different ideas in your head, and you're like, well, maybe I'll combine all that. But I think if you should just follow one book, if you have a self-help book.
Stick with one book.
I think they all work. Like we talk about it. If you
but just stick with one. Like I'm like with Netflix. I'm a person. Once I'm in for a series, I don't cheat.
Yeah,
I'm in. I just watch that series till I'm done with it. Same thing with books. Once you start a book, read it. Be all in. But yeah, I think we've gotten lazy with reading, and it's like a quick story about being lazy with the internet. Is this past weekend at my mom's house, Hayden was like, he'll be like, just look it up. He'll ask me look up football teams, look up who's playing or whatever. And he thinks all the answers on the planet are available on the internet. And which I think most kids probably think that you can get any answer you want to. And he was talking about his daycare teacher, Mr. Gerald. He goes, how old do you think Mr. Gerald is? And I was like, I have, this, if you have a 5-year-old, that these are the kind of conversations you have. I was like, I have no idea how old Mr. Gerald is. He goes, look it up. He goes, look it up. I was like, I can't just look it up. Like, that's not how the internet works. I was like, I can't just look up how old Mr. Gerald is, but that's how 5-year-olds' brains work. Like, I woke up at 4:30 this morning. Hayden got up at 6. I told him to come downstairs. I was already down there doing some work. I shouldn't have been. He comes down the stairs. He's like, Dad. He's like, I slept all night in my bed. I was like, I know. I was like, hey, come here. I was like, I want to give him a big kiss. I was like, give him a hug and a kiss, and looked at me. He goes, you know what Johnny said? Johnny's mom, and goes this whole story about Johnny's mom right out of the gate, not being away from work, about Johnny's mom said he couldn't have any more toys because it was too close to Christmas. And I was like, and he goes, and you told me the same thing. I was like, well, Johnny's mom has a point. That's where kids might go. But yeah, he thinks that every answer you can find. I just die laughing. He was like, I was like, I have no idea how old Mr. Gerald is. I was like, I think he's probably 23, 24. He's pretty in shape, like a younger kid when he went to the Y daycare. And I was like, I just don't think he goes. He just looked at me with so much confidence. He's like, look it up. Look it up. I was like, I have literally no idea. Neither does the internet.
My dad used to say that to me. He never had a phone or anything.
Right.
Just look it up on your thing.
Look it up on your thing.
Yeah.
Look it up. Tell me what it is. Number 7, if one of your crazy yet stupid friends comes up with some ridiculous idea. I got a typo right here. Unreal. That's not shocking though. If one of your crazy, stupid friends comes up with some ridiculous idea like running 4 miles every 2 hours for 24 hours and you want to do it, do it. Just don't be the originator of these awesome yet very bad ideas. This is like that time of year where people like to get into doing stupid things. And as a coach, you deal with this every day of the year, no matter what. Athletes want to do something stupid. They want to go out and run, rim to rim with no training. They want to hop in a 100-mile, Zwift race. They want to go Everest in 2 weeks at some random, Tibetan camp in Africa. They want to do something stupid almost all the time. You have to be like, you know what? That's probably not good, right? For your level of fitness, and it's probably not going to set you up to be in a good shape for whatever race. But what I have found is that this is a good time of year to allow the stupidness to occur. If you're far enough away from the main thing that it's probably not going to hurt them. So if they need this time of year to kind of let loose on their stupidity and their impulsiveness, then here's the time to do it. Because one, they're far enough away from the things that matter, but they're fresh enough and they shouldn't be fatigued enough because they're not training that much to where they're probably not going to do themselves any harm. So if you're feeling like doing something stupid or hopping in something irresponsible, now's the time to do it.
It's a yes month.
Yeah, it's a yes month. Now's the time to go sow your training oats, if you will. Now is the time to go out there and live your life, do something stupid.
Yeah, it's actually a yes and a no month.
It's a yes and a no month.
Yeah,
a yes to
you're saying
that's life. Yes and no month.
That's a good point.
Yeah, don't waffle.
It's the same as every month.
Just don't waffle. It's right. Just don't yes, you can do yes or no's, but no maybes. Okay, no maybes. Because honestly, for most athletes, yes isn't the hardest thing, and the answer for the hardest thing for most people to say is no. Right. Everyone tries to be like, that's my favorite word, no. Number 8, think about what you want out of 2022, both as an athlete and a person. Don't wait till January because everybody's January goals are ridiculous. It's like you make all I want to be a millionaire in 1 year, selling my essential oils. It's like you pick something that,
solid goal, really.
I mean, yeah, it's a pipe dream. But pick something, do some real introspection because this time of year, usually for most people, work is slower, you're a little more flexible, kids are home. Think about what you want. Think about what you want out of life. Think about what you want out of relationships. Think about what you want for yourself, and how you want this next year to be. Figure that out first and then work on the races. The races, the training, the destinations, they should all complement and fit in what you want to do and achieve. Don't make the only things that you want to achieve 2 specific days out of the year where you do these 2 specific events and everything else be damned, on your in your pursuit to achieve these 2 days. Don't give up the other 350 plus days for just the 2. Figure out what you want, make a plan, make a list, things that are actionable, things that are based on effort and execution, not results based. Because that's the biggest thing where people get themselves in trouble, especially in January. It's like, I want to lose X amount of pounds by, some date. And it's got nothing to do with, you can starve yourself or not drink water for a week or sit in the sauna for, 9 hours a day. And you're like, oh, here I go, I'm being successful. And it's like, think long-term. Don't think about just this month, the next month, the next few months. Think about long-term.
So this is different than a Christmas list? Kind of?
It is different than a Christmas list. Number 9. Here's where we kind of get to the nitty-gritty. Number 9. If you want to, and people hate this one, if you want to swim extra during the week, you can swim up to 5 times a week, which again, most people are going to laugh at because I can't even get them to swim twice a week. But if you want to swim extra during the week, you can swim up to 5 times, as short as 800 meters or as long as 2,500 meters. Feel free to add those in as much as you want. You can swim as much as you want this month. Simple. Make your trip to the pool, although a lot of pools are shut down. There's weird hours, but take some extra time to swim. Here's where it gets tricky. Number 10. You may add extra rides each week, but they must be zone 1 and zone 2, not smashing yourself in some Swift race. Max riding each week is 5 total rides, and rides cannot exceed 90 minutes. Again, you can add it, but you got to add the cake. You can't go in there and obliterate yourself and continue to put yourself in a bad position by just crushing yourself. Obviously, we said, if you want to be stupid, you can be stupid this month. Just be stupid. Just be responsibly stupid and with some level of smart, attached to it. Don't just be idiotic. But it all comes with an asterisk, right, which is kind of number 11. You may do more runs than what I have in your plan, but only in a 1-to-1 ratio with extra swims. Meaning, if you want to do an extra run, then you must do an extra swim first. So most people see that as a penalty. I don't. I feel like you encourage people to swim. You really, really want to run, go swim, right? Go swim. Because honestly, if you really want to run your well in a race, you're going to want to swim more anyway, so you can come off the bike feeling fresh. And at that time last year, which is still the case right now, because some people some pools are closed and adhering to the you pick a slot time. If you can't swim, then you must do a 2-to-1 ratio of extra bike minutes to get your run minutes. Meaning, if you want to run 30 minutes, then you need to do an extra easy 60 minutes of riding. So if you want to run more, because we already run a lot, we already run more frequently and consistently than I would probably say most coaching programs do, or people's training plans do we run a lot more frequently. So you're probably running like 4 or 5 times a week. So if you want to run 6, 7, 8, which some people do, you got to swim extra, you got to bike extra if you want to get that in. And number 12, the last one, do whatever you need to do in order to prepare to have your best season ever in 2022. And honestly, that comes with really utilizing this month for what it is, which is a time to recharge your battery. It is not a month to worry. It is not a month to obsess about what you're losing. It is about re-energizing, reinvigorating, getting yourself in line, cleaning out the cobwebs, getting your ducks in a row, being excited, feeling committed, understanding your path, being comfortable in your purpose for what you want to achieve in 2022. And I do 100% believe that this last year for our whole team, among all the coaches, was without question our most successful year for our athletes. Our athletes were able to achieve things they've never achieved as a whole, as individuals. And besides the fact that we work with awesome people, I give a lot of credit to us deciding to take this distance time off in December to kind of recharge and rejuvenate, because what it allowed people to do was stay engaged in their training and excited about it and bought into it and healthy and happy for a long period of time. Because folks, the season is long.
Yeah.
It is so long. If you think about when the meat of the season is, how long and how far away it is, and the time of year that it happens in, and the fact that it's going to get hot again, you're going to be dreading it. Aces in your places. Right now is not the time to do your peak training. Right now is the time to train. And then it's time to train so you can train. And then it's time to train so you can need to train the way you need to train to get ready. I think everyone right now needs a specific level of flexibility. But right now, in my opinion, it's a great time for individuals who are self-coached, but really, to encourage grace with your life and with your training, because so many athletes beat themselves up all the time. And that's one of the things that we work really hard on as a team of coaches, is to instill autonomy in our athletes, that we are here to help them along the way. We are there to provide them with the best coaching that we can week to week. But we are not dictators, right? This isn't the, C26 and you must adhere to it no matter what, training schedule or custom coaching, whatever it is. It's for you. And this is your journey, and you need to take responsibility for that and to make it your own, because you'll be the one that gets all the feels and gets excited or gets disappointed when it comes time to the finish line. So this time of year, learn and start to take on, and I'm sure it sounds weird to hear coaches think about, we want you to feel confident taking days off, right? But that is huge, right? Because no athlete has been like, you know what, I took a day off here and there to keep myself fresh and keep myself ready. And it kept me happy and healthy all year, and I really regret it. No one's ever said that. It's when they burn themselves out, where they keep grinding, or they're trying to keep beating yesterday. They don't want to let themselves down. They want to keep their green streak alive, to where eventually it becomes no longer about getting better and being happy and being healthy and seeing improvement and increased performance. It becomes about a meaningless streak, and that they attach themselves to. So be kind to yourself, show yourself some grace, and for all things holy, don't put up your freaking Christmas tree until after Thanksgiving.
Jeez. Had to throw it in there.
Had to throw it in there.
I mean, for me, this all comes back to, I believe, how we envision what coaching is at a young age. And, we pour it on when we're, college athletes or whatever, high school athletes. You pour it on because you got a little short season. You're working every day. You're kind of beat up, and you kind of just plow through it. But you're resilient. You're young. You've got that ability. And now we all get older, and we're doing triathlon. We have families and jobs and all this other stuff, and we still have that imagery in our head about what coaching was and how athletes used to train when we were back in the day. Mm-hmm. And I just think I think that's what, I was just thinking to myself, this could almost be January rules too, really, if you think about it. I mean, because like you're saying, most people are going to come out of the gate November, December, January.
Yep.
Going to come out of the gate. But again, if you can kind of keep the consistency going and keep fresh and keep the love of the game, if you have the love of the game going into the end of January and you have a late season Ironman or a mid-season half or whatever, you're going to be in really good position if you're excited about it. But if you're still trying to figure out how to find love and passion for what you're doing,
good luck finding it then. Especially when the
you
pressure's on, right?
Flip a switch January 1st.
Because it should come naturally, right? Over time, not something
that's
that's forced. But people are going to spend the next 2 months dissecting and overcommitting and purchasing, and they're going to come flying out of the gate with new this and new that and new everything, and that's going to get me going, and I'm ready to roll.
January 1, everything's laid out like it's a race.
Everybody's doing
their
flat trainer Tims or whatever you call it, like, flat Andes or Randys or whatever you call those photos people do. And then all of a sudden you don't see them anymore. And you're like, whatever happened to so-and-so? They're like, man, they got burnt out after what, 2 weeks? And don't make grandiose plans about things. Don't pull things out of thin air. Like, be process oriented. Pick things that you can do that are effort based, right? That are about execution and effort, not about a time on the clock or a certain thing. Like, those are nice to have, but be process oriented and just find your flow. But the key word there being find, not force. Mm-hmm. In this time of year, people try to force things too early. And it ends up being, it's like not having the patience and not and picking a freaking green banana and then try to peel it. And you're like, I wasted that banana because it's not any good. You can't even peel it and you got to toss it. Wait for your banana to get ripe. Okay. Wait for your banana to get ripe.
Mm. Yeah. If you're every workout, I feel like that a lot, it's just in workout. It's like some days you're going to have it. Some days you don't. Again, there's so much going on in our lives as triathletes, and let it unfold. Don't force it.
Don't force it.
It gets old, man.
Yeah, but do force your way to get back up off the couch and go get that extra piece of pecan pie, because you know what? Today's about living a little.
It keeps going.
It's all Thanksgiving, man. Listen, we're taking up enough of your time, and we're working on a holiday, so we're done too. But no, in all seriousness, we are thankful for each and every one of you and our listeners. We'd always come back and probably have these conversations, but it's a lot more meaningful. We know that we have all 19 of you that listen in every week, twice a week, and to all of our family and friends who take up the majority of that. We do. We love hearing from you. We love feeling like and hearing occasionally that we have a positive impact on your life and in your training, and that you find our community and our podcast valuable, because it really does make doing a podcast Thanksgiving worth it and exciting, and not feeling like a job. It doesn't feel forced. We've found something that we love, and we're happy to be a part of it. Hope you have a wonderful Thanksgiving. Do things that are meaningful. List out the things you're grateful for. Eat a lot of food. Watch some football. Relax. Hop in a turkey trot, 5K or 10K. Cover up your watch, for God's sakes. Have some fun. Rip it. At our website, if you want to learn more about our club promo that's going on, our Club Plus and Club Hub packages, those are filling up very fast. And let us help you plan your year. Not just plan it, but execute it. And that comes with a whole lot of other perks and information. And that's one of the things that I think you and I are both proud of when it comes of what we do. And it's not just a plan and our custom coaching people get us. They get a team, they get a community, and they get resources and information, because coaching is about educating. It's not just about telling you to do something. It's about educating and empowering you to own your plan and own your training. So look that up. It's under the coaches tab on our website, C26Triathlon.com. And as always, it's our one-stop shop for all things coaching, camps, and community. Follow us on the gram, C26_Triathlon. If you need anything from Mike, he is at crushingiron@gmail.com. If you need anything from me, I'm back in the office on Monday, C26Coach@gmail.com.
Happy Thanksgiving, everybody.
Thanksgiving.
We love you.
Yep.
And we appreciate you listening. I guess we'll see you Monday. Just back at it.
Back at it. Peace.
See you.